the best. Her name is Sarah. Better than the rest. Her name is Sarah. I don't have any more.
Yay!
Hi!
That was fun, though.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you deserve a song.
Well, thanks. And sometimes I start by singing to you, so
Yeah, it was
nice.
time. It
Thanks.
feels nice. Episode 327. Sarah and I are not going to talk about how mad we are about patriarchy,
Definitely not.
although we probably will.
Probably. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a bad day.
Yeah. I'm wearing a shirt right now that says, I can't believe we still have to protest this shit. Signed,
I can't either,
all women.
Sarah. I can't. Okay, we are going to talk about
Okay.
it. So I get that this is a controversial subject of abortion and all of that, and I'm really not interested in it, except even when I was pro-life,
Yeah.
I was always pro-life with the exception of rape and incest.
Right.
Who are these ghouls
Right.
who think it's
You know who they are? A bunch of
inconceivable.
people without vaginas.
Yeah, but they fuck vaginas.
Oh my God, it's so twisted. I saw one tweet that some fucking dickhead, Linda
Matt
wrote.
Walsh. It had to be,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my God.
He thinks you should have to carry your father's raped baby inside of you if you're 12 years old.
Yeah. Because
makes
then
sense.
and then there was the comment about how if you are a woman who gets raped, it's better if you can keep the baby because then it keeps the evidence.
Right.
There's
Right.
evidence then that they can...
Sherlock Holmes
What?
over there.
Yeah, except if there is evidence and that person ends up getting convicted, they won't spend nearly half the time or even 1/10 of the time in the hospital or in prison as the doctor who would give the abortion.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
That is upsetting.
It really is. And you know who I bet would love that law? Linda. She probably wrote it. She's probably the one that
for it.
signed it into
Yeah.
law.
Oh
She's the
my
governor of
God.
Alabama.
Yeah, and Lana was like, don't worry, it'll be turned over
Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, really? You also told me don't worry about like a million other things in 2016 that you said weren't going to happen and did.
I've been reflecting on how I felt in 2016, and there truly has been a shift in who I am as a human being.
Agreed.
And how I navigate the world since that time. But we try to keep things so that you get a little palate cleanser.
Yes, this is the light, fun
And
stuff.
yeah, and we will. Well, I think we do a good job of talking about patriarchy through anecdotes
Yes.
rather than legislation.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
I think it's more effective
Yes, it
anyway.
is.
So we shall carry on.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing real
aside
well.
from the patriarchy.
Oh, I'm feeling a little,
You're a loose end.
yeah, like emotionally numb, I guess, if you like, sort of.
I wish I were emotionally numb. That sounds great.
I don't know if it's the lack of sleep from trying to finish all these projects and everything, but yeah, I feel like my brain's like just checked out because it's just been it's been so busy for the last 3 years. And now it's just come
3
to a
years.
screeching halt.
You've been booked solid.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And now there's it's a bunch of traffic driving really fast on the freeway, and then the car in the very front just slammed on the brakes, and everybody else is
Oh, that's
there's just a
interesting.
pile up behind it, and that's kind of what it feels like in my mind.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe that'll fade after a while.
Yeah, you got to transition.
Yeah, and I'm actually, I heard one study. There's this new piece of news out there. There was a study that was done. It was given to 2,000 Americans on how often they feel bored, and the results showed what percentage of time do you think in a week people
Average American?
Yeah, average American reports being bored.
Gosh, well, okay, 40% of the time.
Wow, you are so close, 36%.
Oh my God.
Damn, that was good.
I wouldn't have said that, except I imagine people are bored at their jobs a lot. I think. What do you think?
Yeah, sometimes I think that the amount of stimuli that is around all the time kind of creates this sense of boredom. And then, so I had this wave of anxiety in hearing that fact of oh my God, am I going to be bored with nothing on the schedule really for the next few weeks and kind of in this weird limbo time?
You're not going to feel bored.
Well, when I don't
You're
have a
gonna feel
million
free.
projects, but then I watched an awesome TED Talk on the benefits of boredom, and I was like, we good.
Well, I have seen or read about that where they think that stimulates creative thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really cool. It's that the brain does something called autobiographical thinking, where when you're engaged in an activity where your brain goes into like a default mode, so say you're folding laundry, or you're taking a walk, or you're gardening, or you're just kind of anywhere where you'd be daydreaming and wouldn't have to be switching from one task to another, that your brain does this autobiographical thinking where it steps beyond just regular conscious into the subconscious about, really creative ideas for the future and possibilities and connections. And we see way more the brain being stimulated in different areas. And we need this time. Mm-hmm. And this time is being taken over by your cell phone, by anything that distracts you. Mm-hmm. And that distraction and switching from one task, like we think a multitasking is like the greatest. We're like, oh, that's great. Your brain does not multitask. Mm-hmm. It can only be focused on one thing at a time. And that switches. And when it switches, it takes up energy of your brain, like glucose and stuff that helps your brain function. So by picking up your phone, every time you do that, every time you have 5 browsers open in your computer and are switching back and forth between tasks at work, you are using up that stored nutrients in your brain that could help you think of creative solutions to other problems in your life or whatever.
That's why everyone always says they come up with their best ideas in the shower.
Yes, or driving, or something mm-hmm. where they can be zoned out.
Yeah.
And we don't have these opportunities to create mental bandwidth anymore.
Yeah, the other day my Alexa
mm-hmm.
was inoperable for some reason, and I was cooking, and that's exactly what happened because I had no distraction.
Wow.
I was just doing something. I was still active, but I had silence, and I was coming up with all kinds of stuff.
Anything good?
Well, I was just thinking about decisions and thought, okay, now I know what I'm going to do about this thing or whatever.
That is what the Dalai Lama says is his favorite version of meditation.
Cooking?
No, just thinking about how they would solve a problem in the future. There's different kinds of meditation.
Oh.
And we kind of think of it as a single point meditation where you try to clear your mind of anything.
I'm not real good at that.
And the Dalai Lama was like, yeah, that's one kind, but there's another kind, which is here's this problem, and let's just think of how can we solve this problem in like a creative way, but you have to get your mind to that free place by doing something like cooking.
Yeah.
In silence.
Yeah, it was helpful. I was real mad. I wanted to listen to the Beatles, but it was helpful in the end.
The Beatles have been this theme that keeps coming up in my life recently.
Really?
It's really cool.
Oh my God.
I had a conversation this morning about John Lennon and Yoko Ono with a girl at the clinic.
That's funny.
That was the song that they gave me at my, we had this MFT party where they...
you wanted to know what song it would be.
Yes, they choose a song for you that they feel like fits you. And
what is the song?
I mean, first of all, it was so sweet. Guess who they saved for the very end?
Oh, Lord.
This gal. I loved it.
Why? Why? Why are you superior?
I'm not superior by any means. It was just funny because I was like sitting there waiting
you
and
really
waiting.
Wanted
and I was like dying to know.
Knew.
And the best is like Landon had just come back from his trip to London and landed at 3:00 and then came to the party at 7:00.
Gosh, that was nice.
This whole, the whole award ceremony thing didn't really start till 9. Went on for 2 hours, and Landon was like, I told Landon, you can just leave as soon as mine is done. And then mine was last.
No.
But it was so sweet. They gave me the, and they give you like these awards. They like make up an award for like most, going to start their own clinic for mindfulness and awareness to help whatever, And I got the Change the World award.
Wow.
Yeah, and the song was Imagine by John Lennon.
Well, that's a real compliment.
I know. I cried my freaking eyes out. I was like, this is the most validating night of my whole life. And in the speech, they said that the professors were so excited when I asked questions in class.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, thank you.
Don't encourage her.
Thank you for encouraging me to talk in class. That's the best.
Coming right up.
Yes, so the Beatles, and they gave me that song not knowing that I have Beatles lyrics tattooed on me.
Oh, right.
So isn't that cool?
Yes, it was very
like
apropos.
I said, the most validating night ever.
I'm happy for you. Another thing that's validating is when you wear those Fabletics leggings out.
And everybody compliments me. Yeah.
And they're like, Sarah, you want to change the world and you look smoking hot.
Doing it, yes.
Fabletics, we keep talking about it. It's the athleisure brand that you need to try because it's affordable and looks delicious on your beautiful curves.
Yes.
And maybe even, this is our theory, if you look adorable, you'll want to work out.
Amen. Yes, it definitely helps.
It does. And you
At
can
least,
wear them.
like, encouraged me to do a couple lunges across my kitchen or dining room.
Right. Sarah was here the other
floor.
day when Adam was like, hey, Susie, ready to go do our, what did he call them? Squats? I think he called them that, but that's what he was meaning. Because, I got to get rid of my mom ass.
She's like wanting what did you say? A perfect heart-shaped booty.
Yes, I need an upside down heart
Yes.
situation.
Okay,
so they look perfect in the leggings.
Yes.
And Fabletics has tons of options, whether you want the pants that we love with the little zippers. They're so cute. The joggers I wear almost every day as my house pants.
I need those.
You would love those.
I know. Why don't I get them?
They have pockets and everything. They're super cute. And they have jackets and sports bras, just anything you want that's athleisure. And they're so affordable. And they have an even better deal for our listeners, which we thank them for, which is that you can get 2 pairs of the Fabletics leggings for $24. It's a $99 value. When you sign up for the VIP program, just go to fabletics.com/braincandy. Take advantage of the deal right now. That's fabletics.com/braincandy to get 2 pair of leggings for only $24. Also free shipping on orders over $49. International shipping is available. And there's no commitment when you purchase your first order. So fabletics.com/braincandy.
Yeah, man.
There you go. So
they
that's
also have that airline, like, travel clothes section. Do you ever click on
What?
that? Yeah, they have a whole, like, different categories of,
Yeah.
and one is like airport travel, like travel.
I am so into that.
Yeah, and like real cute. You know how like all the celebrities look so cute at the
do
airports?
know.
I need that look.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had not seen
Oh,
this.
that's what I ordered. Head to toe airport gear.
Head to toe airport
Yeah.
gear.
A nice like wrappy sweater. Like, yeah, you need that.
All right, I'll
It's
check
a
it
must.
out. How about, you want to start with good news?
Yes,
You've
always.
been super into good news lately.
Like, like she's like judging me for that. I'm like, you've been into super good news lately. I mean,
Sarah's staying positive. Okay.
okay.
I read this really lovely story about a special needs man in India who his whole life dreamt of getting married and never found the right woman. And so his whole village threw him a wedding even though there was no bride.
Oh.
And I thought that was really
That's
sweet.
real sweet.
And really a nice idea because I swear to you, I think some people get married because they want the wedding.
You said this
Yeah.
2 episodes ago
Well,
about
I
the
said,
dresses.
the dress.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that day because they
Yeah.
can be the star.
Yes, they feel
Feel
special.
special.
That's
And
what everybody wants to be seen.
Yeah. And he was seen and everyone came. They said everyone that they ever knew came to this special day.
Gosh.
Isn't that nice?
That warms my heart.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I'm feeling less emotionally numb now.
Yeah, it sparked something.
Yes, it did.
Humanness.
Yes.
And I thought I could get down for some like wedding dancing, but like not go to a wedding. That would be so fun.
Wedding dancing is my favorite.
Me too. It's my specialty.
It's so fun. Why is wedding dancing better than all other dances?
I think it might be the music they play
Yeah.
is my kind of music.
Yeah.
Rather than, I'm not into like house or whatever they call
Yeah,
that
right.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like the fun. It's like, because they're catering to all different generations.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best.
I'm into it.
Uh-huh.
We should throw a wedding for no one.
Just for the party.
For the fun.
Yeah.
Right.
But we can't go to the venue and say it's for a wedding because then they'll charge us 3 times the amount.
What?
You know how they do that?
No.
Oh my God. So when Landon and I went, we rented the place where we got married. It was a house in Bermuda Dunes in
Palm
Springs. And found it on VRBO and, like a vacation rental website. And it was $1,000 a night, and maybe not even. I think it was like $500 a night. This was like a huge house where we put all of our guests. They were like bedrooms for our whole family. I mean, you were there, Susie.
Yeah,
huge. So it was a good deal. I think it was like $500 a
That
night.
is
It was going to be
real
like
good deal.
$1,500 for the weekend. We signed up. We rented it. Then we let them know it was for a wedding. It became like $5,000.
Why?
It jacked up, maybe not that much, but definitely double or triple the price because they're like, oh, we have to have insurance. They just came up with a bunch of reasons why they needed. It was more expensive to rent it for a wedding. Yeah, that's like a thing for real.
I guess that makes sense, but that's such a shame.
Yeah, this is like everywhere.
I'm telling you, honesty does not pay off.
No, it doesn't. You should definitely, I say, lie about you actually having the wedding when you're doing it. And then after you get married, or if you're ever traveling with your significant other, always tell the people checking you in that you're on your honeymoon.
What happens for real?
Who knows? You can sometimes get upgraded, sometimes get some champagne sent to you, sometimes
Sarah,
get absolutely.
I'm
say
totally
it all the time.
trying this.
Yeah, it works. I wore my. Landon and I went to Disneyland right before we got married, and we got those like Mickey Mouse ears with the bride, the veil, and everything. I wore those like at the airport as I was checking in, and they were like, "Oh, did you just get married?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And they were like, treated me extra special.
Stop.
I think we got like tickets to access to the like Admirals Club, or where they like have all the. I don't know, whatevs they have, just open bars, all I've seen. That's all I need. Who knows what kind of food. I was like, I don't know what else they have there, but they definitely have an open bar.
Oh my God. Is anyone listening as sick as I am of how Sarah has the best luck in the world? You wear friggin' Mickey Mouse ears, and they're like, "Oh, you must be special."
Yeah, it didn't work on the flight home, though. They were like, we didn't care. They didn't care. But they worked a few times. So
I'm going to try this, and I bet it won't work.
No, and like hotels, if you like tell them, before... oh, we're celebrating, da-da-da. They, like, set your room up nice.
The few times that I've had them ask, is this a special occasion? And I might say, oh, it's our anniversary or something. All that I get is an offer for me to spend more money. Oh, did you want to get the fondue or whatever the heck it is?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, Sarah.
The only time that backfired is when Landon booked us a baby moon when I was pregnant and told the hotel in Hawaii. Yep. Told the hotel.
This story.
So then of course, had a miscarriage. Still went on the trip to Hawaii, and it was like right after we go in and check into the room, and they had made this. Like with the towels, they had made what looked like one of those diaper cakes.
Yeah.
It's like multiple layers, and it had a doll with a little baby on top. Landon was the first to walk in. He grabbed it, threw it into the bathroom, like hoping that I wouldn't see. Like he tried to like hide it.
Yeah.
And I saw it out of the corner of my eye, but I pretended like I didn't.
Oh my God.
But it was real sweet because he was like, "Oh my God, I did!" Oh, and like I understand the efforts on everybody's. Side there.
Everyone had good intentions.
Yes, so good, and so I was fine. But
oh my God,
yeah,
I love that story though because that really was just an unfortunate turn of events.
Right.
I can just picture
like,
Landon
congratulations,
scrambling.
Yeah, he was. I could just see the panic in his eyes. Like oh, so sweet, Landon.
I see you have notes though. I don't want to step on your plans
my notes were about. I had a few stories to share, but one was about that the boredom thing and all the great studies with that.
If you are doing wedding dancing we should say you got to hydrate.
Definitely,
you got to keep everything running properly.
I'm going to be sweating on the dance floor, so I need to replace those electrolytes and stuff I'm losing
with some Liquid IV!
Yay! This has definitely helped me survive my final week of grad school.
I'm sure.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. In the morning and at night.
It's like you're running a marathon for your mind.
I am.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that it feels like I need to, I'm low on sodium and potassium. So, yes, Liquid IV me. Now.
Liquid IV is the fastest, most efficient way to stay hydrated. It's this little packet, and you just pour it into whatever water you're drinking, and it'll hydrate you 2 to 3 times faster than water alone, which seems like wizardry.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't really understand it.
Science.
But it's true. So if you're traveling, throw one in your bag. If you are going to be out and about and it's freaking hot because it's summer, just go prepared. Throw one in your purse so you always have it. It's great for kids after their various practices and all that jazz that they do. It's just really convenient, and it has vitamins in it, and it can fuel your workouts, whatever you need it for. And that's why we love Liquid IV, and we know you will too. Right now, our listeners get 25% off at liquidiv.com when you use our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquidiv.com and enter our code BRAINCANDY to get savings and start getting better hydration. It's liquidiv.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. Don't wait. Start properly hydrating today, and they're yummy, so there you go. Well, let me ask you about this, and it's totally crass, but I guess I knew this, but not really. You know how,
I can't wait for what you're going to say. half of me is like super excited and the other half's terrified of what. This is one of those where I feel like I'm in trouble for something and I shouldn't be.
You know,
That's like what we were talking about before of bad parenting and what that did to me.
no, this is about how, you know how gay guys are on Grindr and they match up and whatever.
Yeah, this definitely is not about me. Okay. Yes. Got it.
Well, you know, and like in the straight world, we will send pictures and nudes and all that. And they send pictures of their beeholes.
Okay.
But I didn't really know about it. And I wanted to talk about it and how I don't think I would ever want to see somebody's beehole.
Well, if that's not the area that you're getting, you know.
Okay, but Sarah, stop it.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is why would you want that even if you liked banging beeholes?
Yeah, but have you ever talked to a gay guy who says is like repulsed by vaginas?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, what do
So
you mean
he's
there
repulsed
I go?
by the place that a penis goes in a straight relationship.
Sure.
And you're kind of not repulsed, but like shocked that he has an admiration for the place where his penis goes in a gay relationship.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
What
that
they're into is that represents like, it's like a visual, you know, men are very visual.
Okay,
so it's
okay,
a visual
fair
representative
enough.
of where they get to put their, you know what.
you know what? Okay, but like, do you think that there are beeholes that are better than others? Is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe there are qualifications for some people, you know, who knows
What
what
is
they
it,
like.
like
Some
color,
people like
size?
Maybe it's hair or no hair.
Oh
Is
my
it smooth
God,
or not? Like, there's probably different, like, you know, think about all of
Sarah,
the time.
stop
No,
it.
I am totally like on the gay guy's side with
I'm
this
not
one.
on- I'm not against
correct,
it.
Correct. We're just, yes, I'm not saying you aren't. For somebody who has spent thousands of dollars and hours of time caring for the maintenance of her vagina, me, and like many women out there, it's not surprising that men would care for that area in their relationship. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean?
Kind of.
Yeah.
But not really. Because we can't pretend like poop doesn't come out of it.
Correct, but, you know.
Even if you also bang that way, which a lot of straight people do as well.
Yes, they do.
But
I bet straight people who are into that would be into
this is what
looking at
I
the
want to
butthole.
know.
Yeah.
Has any straight guy ever said, "Can I see a picture of your beehole?" No.
Not a picture of it, but I have definitely had them. It
Of course,
seems like
in
they're
person.
excited in the moment.
Yes, when you're there.
Correct. Good point. I see what we're
Okay,
getting
I'm
at
glad
here.
we're making progress
Yeah.
on this. Because maybe, I'm sure some straight guys do ask for pictures of your beehole, but I don't think it's very common.
Yeah, but maybe that's like, there's a few other steps before they get to, you know, it's like, can I see your boobs? Can I see your, you know,
Yes. Your
undercarriage? I don't know. What do you want to call it?
vag. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw on Twitter someone was joking about how, like a gay guy was joking about how, like, whenever they catfish, like, I think sometimes they even catfish with their beeholes.
Oh, I believe that.
And that made me think, like, is one inferior?
Yeah.
And if you're...
Well, think about how, like, there's definitely vagina shame. We talk about that all the time.
Sure.
So I would imagine there's probably some beehole shame.
Have you ever heard, though, of a guy shaming a woman's vagina?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
On the challenge or just in real life?
In both. I think I have
What do they
low
say about
vagina
them?
confidence because of comments guys have made.
What do they say
Even if
about
they're
them?
not about me, they're just like, I remember.
Low vagina confidence.
Yeah,
is
totally.
So great.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on that. So I have memories of being in like high school. And I was on the swim team when I was in high school, and the swim team is co-ed.
Yeah.
And I remember a story about the guys making fun of some girl because they saw basically like discharge in her bathing suit. That a bathing suit was like in a pile, and like she was mocked for that. And that's just a normal part of being a woman.
Right.
And that's something that I was so ashamed of. And like just hearing that, and it like planted in my brain that I would like hide any, and still to this day I have a hard time of just like throwing my underwear in the dirty clothes. I have to like wash it and hide it and all that. And there's so much shame around it. And I like remember one time Landon thought clothes were this pile of dirty clothes he thought were clean, and he put them away, and he put away underwear of mine that was just dirty underwear. And like we all don't have dirty, everybody's got dirty underwear, whatevs. I was like mortified and so ashamed and was like, you know, and then I took out that feeling of vulnerability and like insecurity on him of like getting mad at him for putting away the laundry that was dirty. And like, didn't you even look? And really what I had to come back. Like, and then afterwards I said, you know what? This is all about a shame thing. I just feel, and like I'm really working on congruent communication and like accessing what am I really upset about right now. And so like 15 minutes later, I was like, I'm not mad at you for that. I'm embarrassed because I have a lot of shame around, you know, my underwear and anybody seeing that. And I know that stems from that comment that somebody made, that the boys made when I was in high school about a girl and all that. And that's just like lived with me. Yeah. So it's stuff like that. Yeah, or like, I get you. You know, and it just happens that we overheard a lot of, you know, conversations with, you know, that men had about where they were really objectifying women and talking about all their parts on the challenge like that. So of course that added to it. Don't you remember all the conversations that they had about that? Yeah, I just don't think that that's representative. So I always kind of disregard it. It's almost like an outlier in the data where, yes, I heard a lot of men on the challenge talking about beat up vaginas and all of that stuff, but it's kind of a lot of the language that I remember them using in high school. And maybe it's just that everybody on the challenge just like regresses and like acts like their 15-year-old self. And, you know, it's almost like we know that high stress environments trigger these like survival stances that we take, whether it's the blamer or the placator or the martyr. And when you feel stressed or anxious, those are your default because somehow you used that as a child to get your needs met. Mm-hmm. So maybe in those moments of high stress, they're using like shaming of others. Yes, exactly. Yeah, mocking. Totally. To just ease their anxiety and the stress and create some sort of, you know. Well, let me be clear. I'm not mocking or judgmental about the B-hole pics. I just find it curious, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, if you will, about what it does and what the feeling creates, and if there is a hierarchy of desirable B-holes. We need to ask a gay guy. I will. Yeah. I'll just get right on this. This is not my stripe in the rainbow flag. To be... Right. Well, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm sure it's what Sarah already said, which is that, you know, it just gets their motor running. Yeah. About putting their what in there, as she said. And there's something about, you know, when you're dating, when you're single, when you're in the dating world, you're like, you know, playing the field, if you will. You want to put time. Part of the whole like dance that we do in you know, engaging with somebody else is putting time and effort into ourselves. We do our hair. We like think about I was always more fit when I was single because it was like, I got to work on that because I'm like, yeah, you want to be desirable. Yes. You want to be desirable. Yeah. So I feel like taking pride in every part of your body that's, you know, used in sex or whatever is kind of part of that. Yeah, you want to showcase the work that you've done. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know? Okay. And they're like, my abs are good. My chest is waxed. I know. Take care of the butthole. I'm supportive of that. Yeah. Managing it all. They're bleaching it? That was what I thought you were going to say. Some of them, I think. Yeah. I don't really see the interest in that. Right. I don't know what either. That is. I think that might be rooted in some like racism or something like that. I feel like. I don't know. Well, I'm not a straight man, so I don't understand, and I don't look for that, but I think that's a weird thing. Yeah, that's not for me, and I've never met anybody who admitted to doing it, so I haven't been able to. Oh, well, what did they say? 2 girls in the challenge. You'll have to tell me later. Oh, you will love the answer to one of them. Oh, my God, for real? Oh, my God, she did not. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't even imagine there would be a need for that. There's no way it was super dark. Well, you know, you never know. Really? Yeah. Okay. Is there a lot of I think the indicator is the color of your nipples. Okay. Yeah, that's usually the color of other places.
I'm like,
mine are dark. Mine's dark.
Your butthole?
Well, I don't know. I've never really examined it with a mirror, or seen back there. I can't reach that
Did
far.
I tell you about
my nipples are?
Did I tell you about how I was teaching Lincoln how to see his butthole in the mirror?
But this is great, and you should explore your body.
Totally.
Yeah, and then you understand what's safe for you to explore and look at, and what's not allowed for other people to be. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
I don't recall the reason, if there was a scratch or what it was that he wanted to see. Yeah. And I was like, well, let me show you how to do that.
That's great.
And we just went to the mirror, and he did the old bend over, and I'm like, put your head between your legs.
Yeah.
And he was so fascinated.
You know what? It sounds so silly, like when you laugh about it, but what you're doing is so important.
Oh, good.
Because I remember being a child and being curious about that area and
bodies
wanting
are
to explore
fascinating.
it. And if you were a parent that walked in on your child doing that and then scolded them, punished them, shamed them for it, you would create that same feeling in them that I have about that conversation that I overheard with the bathing suit. That is where those kind of things can start.
Yeah.
And so by you accepting that, not only accepting it, but encouraging that and allowing it and normalizing it, is going to teach him a healthy relationship with his body and to not have shame about it.
Yeah, he was really fascinated. And he was like, I've never seen that before.
I wish moms would do it for their daughters.
Me too.
Yeah.
The thing that you're describing, though, is something that I recall when I was a kid. You know how when you have to go to the bathroom when you're a kid and you hold it too long?
That was the story of my life. I still am doing that. What's wrong with me?
It's so common.
Yeah.
And I remember I was holding my vagina
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
All little girls do it all the time.
They do.
Yeah.
And my brother walked in and he goes, I never want to see you doing that.
There you go.
I don't even know what he thought I was doing.
Oh my God.
But I was just like,
you were
what?
like,
it was so shaming. But I was just like, what?
These are important things to talk about. And these are the kind of things, memories that we need to talk about, get out into the open, and then reprocess through the lens of an adult.
Yeah.
So that we can reduce that shame and increase that self-worth, because you have to. If you don't talk about it, you still are in that little kid. You're still replaying that moment as a child and from the perspective of the child.
Yeah.
Super important.
Yeah, man. So check out your butthole and let us all know what you see.
Uh-huh.
I am the worst. Like, I hate when I set myself up for a bad transition.
Yeah.
But regardless,
I love those.
Something that you're also going to want to see is Joybird furniture in your house.
Yes, rest that beautiful butthole on that nice Joybird couch. Don't worry, I'll help you out.
That's what Sarah's dog does. He rests his behind.
Sure does.
Right on top of his little Joybird perch. But Joybird furniture is really cool. Here's why. They are an online company, so you don't have to go to a showroom or anything. But you can know, because I'm telling you, that it's super high quality.
Super. I'm getting their pull-out couch for our office.
That's
I'm
what
upgrading.
I have. They're so nice.
I know. I've slept on that couch. It's great.
That's right. Yes, we have the pull-out couch. We have chairs. We have another beautiful mid-century style couch. And their fabrics, they have a lot of kid-friendly and pet-friendly options, which I know a lot of people would want. They have tons of colors, and they have those really bright, beautiful colors.
I'm also looking at some bright green, like velvet ones.
I am really into velvet.
I know you would be for upstairs. Yeah, I'm going to get those.
It's quality handcrafted furniture, and they take the party outside with their outdoor collection now. Sarah's excited.
Looks like we're getting new outdoor furniture.
We get really excited about these things.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
And they have a 365-day home trial, so you'd sit on it, sleep on it, break it in, and if you don't love it, you get a full refund. It's hassle-free in-home delivery. See how Joybird can help you design your dream space. Find your joy today at joybird.com/braincandy. Create furniture that brings you joy today at joybird.com/braincandy. Go to joybird.com/braincandy and receive an exclusive offer for 25% off your first order.
Damn, that's
by
good.
using code BRAINCANDY. Love it.
Also, the outdoor furniture is amazing.
Oh my God, she's already shopping, you guys.
Yeah, I really want them to come out with baby furniture.
Oh, they don't have that.
I know, they need some nursery furniture.
That should be on their list.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the suggestion box.
Yeah, before I have a baby.
Right, get on that.
Yeah, you got time, people.
What are those carpenters up to?
Right.
Get working.
Start whittling.
Whittling. What if that's how they made it?
Right.
Okay. Do you want to talk about...
Okay, what is that?
Did you read the article in the New York Times about how Nike. You know how they have those really cool ads with like Serena Williams and stuff, and the all female athletes.
Love them.
It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
But their track record with handling pregnancy is a real problem. So like the way that they work is like if you're associated with them, you're required, a sponsored athlete, you're required to, maintain competition every 6 months. And so there are no exceptions in the contract for if you were to get pregnant.
So
And
they drop you from your contract?
They don't drop you. They just won't pay you.
What?
Like you can't.
Don't they
get
know
paid.
that they're missing out on a whole different market?
That's what I'm
wouldn't it
saying.
be great to advertise to
moms?
the large percentage of the population that gets pregnant multiple times in their life? For many of them, that like, look how you could be a cute, active, pregnant woman in our badass
vibrant,
clothes.
healthy, strong.
Still work
know.
out. Like, not that, put them in a moo-moo and like just you're on bed rest and you just sit down for 9 months or whatevs that they thought in the 50s were how we did it.
The one athlete that they covered was this woman who had her baby and then, was ready to go back to work really fast as they are, sort of forced to do.
Yeah.
But her baby was sick and had a health problem. Yeah. And she had to choose, do I stay at the hospital with my baby or do I go train so I can get paid again to pay for medical bills?
Oh, my God.
And I don't like it. It's upsetting to me.
Fuck you, Nike.
I know. And they kind of put out this thing that was like, we don't have any policy about, getting rid of like pregnant athletes or people that just had a baby, but they also don't have anything in the contract that says it says they can fire people for any reason, and that's not okay.
Right? Isn't that
well,
discrimination? Isn't
kind
that
of, but it's like those. It's like Uber drivers where it's not a typical employment. What do they call those?
Yeah,
contract labor.
Yeah,
and so they can kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, like non-employee compensation or whatever it is.
So hopefully they'll make some changes.
Yeah.
Because you're so right. There's a lot of opportunity to make that a part of your brand.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing ads about lifting up women.
I feel like there was another reason why I switched, said, no to Nike and yes to
Oh, really?
Adidas. I recently,
was it the Beyonce
making
thing?
That.
Where she went into that meeting?
But I think she went into the Adidas meeting.
Oh, okay.
And was like, no. I can't remember.
I don't
there was
know.
definitely a reason. And I want to say it had something to do with Serena Williams, too. Where I was like, yep, no more. Like, there was
They're on her
some
bad
reason
list.
that I was like, yeah, Adidas is Adidas.
That's how Adam says it.
Because that's how you say it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even
I have a friend who works for them, and she was like, that's how you say it.
Adidas.
Adidas, yeah.
Even in America.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
they should run an
or
ad.
Yeah, they should.
Announcing this.
Right. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, tell her that.
It's like, what I'm trying to think of another brand where we would pronounce it differently in the States.
Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, but that's
We're
just
doing
dumb
it wrong.
because Ralph Lauren's American, and we're like putting a fancy... It's like saying Target. It's fucking Target. And I love it. Half my clothes are from there right now.
I know. And they are really nice, too, I will say.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Sarah was looking
Target
super
wants
hot.
to sponsor us.
Sarah was looking really hot the other night. She was going out for dinner, and I'm like, that is a gorgeous outfit. And she was like, Target.
Yeah, that's always my answer.
But anyway, I hope Nike does make some changes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes, Nike.
That's true.
All you can do is learn and grow.
I say there's no such thing as failure. It's just an opportunity for learning.
I mean, that's false.
Yeah.
It can be both. Like, it can be failure and an opportunity We'll
true.
agree to disagree.
Yeah. Do you want to hear about an experiment a guy did seeing if he could pay his rent with gigs on Craigslist?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So this guy lives in Brooklyn, New York. He is a journalist at Vice. Mm-hmm. And he was wondering if, because we're like almost a gig economy right now where people are like hustling to, little jobs here and there and everybody's working like 10 different jobs. So he was wondering if you could pay your rent with gigs on Craigslist. And his rent was $900 a month and he gave himself a week to earn $900 to...
I don't know if that's enough time.
Well, it wasn't.
We'll find out.
Not even close. And he...
oh, my God.
It was real funny. He at first, he started the first week of just responding to ads that he saw.
Right.
He responded to between 300 and 400 jobs. And of those...
This is so depressing.
Got 7 responses back.
What?
Can you even believe that?
Why do you think?
I don't know if a lot of them were fake or maybe a lot of them were sexual, like maybe looking for other things.
Yeah.
Really?
Right.
And so some of the jobs that he got were pretty funny. There was... some of them were like normal. He got like $150 for doing a photo shoot for a restaurant, like a little cafe in Brooklyn, where he had to take the pictures and he also had to provide the models. So it was like, bring your friends and take pictures of them eating.
God.
So it was great. That turned out well. He also like cleaned a barbecue for an old man. And but one of my, there were 2 that were just my favorite that he did. One, there was a woman.
Can I interrupt you to ask
of course.
a question? On Craigslist, is there a section called gigs?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yep.
it's sort of just like this and that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Jobs for, all these kind of things. Need help moving a refrigerator.
Gotcha. Okay.
You name it. Just random gigs that
Okay.
people can do. So one was a woman who was a mom who was returning back to the workforce and needed help writing a biography for herself, like a bio.
Oh my God.
He wrote a bio for a mom, like from her point of view, about how the challenges of being a mom and how they and the skills she gained there and how they translate into, work and life skills and all this stuff. And she was like, that's pretty good. I think she ended up using it.
And
it was,
how much do you think you got? $50?
I think it was like $100 for that.
Okay.
Maybe even 50, who knows. And then the other, he was a skinny bald guy, the guy who's doing this, white guy, and he got hired to play a Game of Thrones character, Varys, at a Game of Thrones themed party.
Oh, Lord.
Which is funny because that character is kind of chubby and he's real skinny. So he's like, I wonder if people will get it. But he was bald and he got it. People got it enough. He said it was the hardest job he did of all those because you have to just do small talk as a character.
That's a nightmare.
A nightmare. That's what I said. I was like, I would hate that.
Oh, my God.
Like, could you imagine keeping up that affect the whole night and catering to a bunch of Game of Thrones? I love that show.
Yeah.
But I love it and also have a life. So that is not the same for some. That cannot be said for all people.
Oh, my God.
So he said that one was really hard.
How much did he earn in total?
He ended up earning... I think it was $765 and was not able
I'm
to
impressed,
get
though,
enough.
I gotta say.
And he had to extend it to a month because he couldn't get it in a week. He did not get even
Okay.
He had like
what
one
was
job
his thesis? What was he arguing? That the gig economy sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That people will say that of like, oh, you can just do random jobs. No, you can't.
Yeah.
After a week of doing it and having very little to no luck, he put out an ad saying like, I can do whatever gig you want. And the ad was what cracked me up too. It was like, moving? Okay, I'll help you. Like lift and carry whatever you need. Snake wrangler? I'll give it my best shot. But then at the end of this whole clip, he talked about how he has regrets with what he wrote in that because he did not see what would the potential emails he would receive from snake wrangler and that being a euphemism.
Right.
And he said the majority of the emails he got back were
and hey, show me your beehole.
Surprisingly. And he said there were even a lot of straight men who said, well, I've never done this before, but ... And I don't know if that was true
Sure.
or just like a pickup line.
Holy smokes.
Mm-hmm. Holy beehole.
Wow. That's interesting, though. I appreciate his
it's a nice
diligence.
Little clip and movie. And, I like sometimes Vice does. There was also another one that I haven't watched yet, but I'll be talking about it soon, of a guy who gets a tattoo at a 1-star like Yelp rated tattoo place.
Shut up.
Because he wanted to see, like, what are people's Yelp reviews really true? Like, what makes somebody...
This is hilarious.
Yeah, right? So get ready for that report next time.
Oh, my God. Well, and also get ready for great stories because I find so many wonderful articles that I want to read through the New Yorker.
Yes.
And we have been trying to convince you guys of the virtues, and really it speaks for itself because the New Yorker has something for everyone. If you're into politics, pop culture, fiction, food, humor, cartoons, whatever, almost every day I read something from the New Yorker that I didn't know before, and I learned so much about it. And whatever topic you're going to be into, are you into paper jams? I read that. I read an article about paper jams.
Yes, it was
That was
fascinating.
so good. Right.
You shared it on here.
Yes.
It was so good. About it holding up legal cases.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
great.
so into stuff like that. And
Love
you can
it.
learn so much about the world around you through the New Yorker. So you guys need to try it. And they have such a good deal for you guys. I can't tell you what a bargain this is. Get 12 weeks of the New Yorker for just $6 plus the exclusive tote. Go to newyorker.com/braincandy. Listeners save 50% when they enter Brain Candy. $6, really? You get the hard copy mailed to you, but you can also access all their digital content, which is aplenty. So do that and shut up about it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving right along. This is a fun one.
Yes.
I got a wonderful email from a brainiac who thought we would like this, and she was right. It's about how fairy tales begin in other countries instead of once upon a time.
Oh,
And it's
cool.
really cool. And I left it open because there's so many examples that I just thought I'd kind of work through it.
Yes.
And I love when people think of something that I never thought of. Like, how does Once Upon a Time get produced
so cool.
in other cultures? So they said that in her grandma's Tamil, which I'm not familiar with where that is, but they begin with "in that only place."
Oh.
Which is kind of mysterious.
That only place. Is that one of those phrases that's our English translation of it, but maybe only has like a different...
I don't know.
Who knows?
She didn't clarify, and then she just started talking about other languages, like in an Indian language, they say, having been said and said and said.
Oh, I like that.
That's really
like
cute.
talking about oral history and how it's passed down.
Yes. And then in Korean, a typical fairy tale begins, once in the old days when tigers smoked.
Oh, cool.
Wonder why. I do wish there was more like, here's why.
Anthropomorphizing the tigers and like maybe a time where who knows, they had... Oh, that's cool.
It probably means something we don't
and
get.
it talks about like a fairy tale world where like tigers smoke and they
Yeah,
talk and
good
they have
point.
parties. And
In Catalan, they say, once upon a time in a corner of the world where everybody had a nose.
What? I want to know what. This is super cool.
I know, it leads more questions.
Yeah, you can explore any one of those and have a whole new article. And
to explain the origin. In Nigeria, they say, here is a story, story it is. In Chile, they say, listen to tell it and tell it to teach it.
oh,
Which is good.
listen to tell it and tell it to teach it. That reminds me of the doctor, that whole saying of see one, do one, teach one.
Oh, I don't know that one.
What? Oh, maybe I just watch a lot of medical shows now.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's like
What do they say?
is the rule in teaching hospitals when you're learning a new surgery. It's see it, do it, teach it.
Okay.
Yeah, you only have to see it once, do it once, and then you go straight
What?
to teaching it. I know, it blows my mind.
I think maybe they should rethink that.
That's what they say. And, we need our doctor friends to tell me if this is real. They'll be like, no, Sarah, it's just TV.
It says the endings are similarly varied. German fairy tales typically end, and if they didn't die, they're still alive today. Instead of saying they lived happily ever after.
Oh, cool.
The cat in the veil lost its tail. End of fairy tale. That seems cheeky to rhyme tail with tail, but I'll let it slide. Russian storytelling sometimes involves.
Here's my question, though. That rhymes in English. So what is it? Does it rhyme in whatever language?
Icelandic. The cat in the veil lost its tail. End of fairy tale. Right.
Right.
Do they say it in English?
That's the question. It rhymes when we, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Where are our Icelandic
Yeah,
listeners?
that is the hardest language of all to learn.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it's like insane to learn Icelandic. From what I've heard.
I
I've
won't
never
try.
tried. Yeah.
Russian storytelling sometimes involves the narrator suddenly appearing in the story right as it's at its close with the declaration, I was at the wedding, I drank meat and wine there, it ran down my mustache but didn't go into my mouth.
What is that about?
It makes no sense.
Is that because they're drinking vodka through the whole story and by the end
these people drunk, I support it.
What is that?
It goes on and on. There are tons. But it's just so fun, Suze. Right? Had even Sorbera, who has made Arabic literature her life's work, had never really considered what was conveyed by there was and there was not. Asked what the phrase means, she pauses for a long time. I never thought about that. I've read those stories and I heard those expressions, blah, blah, blah. That's how we all are. Mm-hmm. Like when it's repetitious and gets into your DNA, but half the time you don't really even know what it is.
Right.
I love that stuff.
My little brother, and he used to love telling stories. Like he was at that age where he has to tell stories about everything. And he would always start with, no matter what he was talking about, one time, it would be like, Mom, one time I was walking to school and then I went, and he even had a whole story about really seeing a tiger when he walked to school and blah, 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 which is funny. You mentioned tigers earlier.
That's funny.
It would be like, Mom, one time I was at school and I learned this, and every sentence started with that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was real cute.
I wonder why he did, where that...
Yeah, with a long time, a one time. Yeah, it was real
Why
cute.
Do you think?
I don't know. He must have caught on to that once upon a time and then just kind of shortened it like kids do.
Yeah.
He was funny when he was little. He's still funny, but...
I don't know. I just think it's really cool. And then the article goes on to talk about, the cross-pollination of language and then how things kind of get changed. And I'm sure that's what a lot of these that make no sense are, is where they had a saying and then another culture sort of married them and then now it makes no sense, but they still use it.
Yeah. I remember the book, The Hitmakers, that talked about the lullabies?
Yes.
Yes, I love that whole story.
Yeah. And those are things that are really fun still, even with all the technology where oral traditions still...
How do people in different countries from different, when communication across lands was so hard, know the same lullabies and sing
Remember
them?
that study, too, they did where you had to listen to a song and decide whether it was a lullaby or a celebratory... And how pretty good we all are at it, even if we don't know the words to the song, because through different cultures, there's some themes and trends that, it's kind of weird how humans do have so much in common.
So much more in common than we have different.
Right.
I was just thinking about that today. I said, and maybe I've said it on here, but I talk about this when, with my fellow therapists, that, people are kind of like tract housing, where there are 7 different models, but they can all have different interiors. You can decorate them however you want on the inside, and that's kind of like people. There's a general okay, this is.
But that's why it's kind of, it really stands out when someone doesn't fit into one of those. Yeah. And you're just like, something ain't right there.
That's why we're fascinated with those. The story about, what is it that, oh my gosh, with the mom who makes her daughter sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Munchausen by proxy. Yeah.
Which now, fictitious disorder imposed on another. I'm very clear.
I'm not buying that. I feel like that can't be it.
It is.
That's
their DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual's diagnosis of what Munchausen by proxy is now for insurance billing.
Oh, for insurance.
Because you have to. That's how that manual works. The DSM is all designed to give codes to every single mental health disorder, so that there's consistency in diagnosis across different fields. And
but why would they change the name? Is what I don't get.
Oh, I don't know. That's the part that. I think they're trying to just get rid of those names that are more almost based in anecdotal stories, like Munchausen. That's like a person, or that's like a story. Where does that even?
I see.
It's like calling it Lou Gehrig's disease. Or,
right.
what is the actual thing?
Oh, ALS.
ALS.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, got it. I like that name better than Munchausen.
Yeah, it is fun to say. Do you remember, what was that movie with Baron von Munchausen? It was a great movie from like the 80s or 90s.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
That was like the character in the movie. Now I got to look it up. It was so good. You and Lincoln and your family would love it because it's like that vintage, really fun time where like kind of like the bed knobs and broomsticks time of movies and Dr. Dolittle, like all those style.
Bring that back, man.
Yeah.
What do I have to do around here?
It's just called The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen.
We're learning a lot
The
today.
Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. Man, this was a good...
That's the name of it?
Yep. It was a great movie. Yeah, look at the cover. It's so fun.
Adam would love that.
Yeah, you guys would totally love this movie. It's really fun and definitely see it. Yeah.
Hey, since we're on the subject of sort of like, diagnostic, blah, blah, blah. There was an article that I read about... You know how there was recently that plane that caught on fire and it on the tarmac?
Yeah.
And they had to get off.
Oh, yeah, right.
And some of the people getting off of the plane were wheeling their bags and like had their bags, and there was a lot of criticism like, really? The plane's going to blow up and you're grabbing your goddamn carry-on? And so the article in the New York Times was about why do people do that when seconds matter. And it was really helpful because I know for sure I would do that.
I know I would too. I was thinking about that so much when you made the comment about the Titanic and people going back
to get their
stuff. And it's like, you don't need your fucking hat. You're about to die, And because Landon and I have been watching the new show Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I'm like, what do we do? Like, seriously, what's the plan? Like, what would you do?
In a nuclear whatever?
I mean, you're pretty much screwed.
But, well, yeah, I got no plan for that.
Yeah, that. But, say there were something, and you just have to, like, get out real fast.
Well, I'll be hopeful.
Landon was like, I'm just leaving, and you just abandon everything. And
I'm not real good at that. I think it's because we grew up poor, but, I mean, Landon didn't have money growing up, so I don't know what his deal is.
Right.
But I feel like that's what is at the root for me.
A female thing where it has to do with nesting and this being like our identity is, I mean, mine is so attached to the home. Like, that's my fear if the house burns down. If like, oh my God, I spent so long putting it all together.
Oh, right. I'm sure you would. You really put a lot of time into that.
It's like
the article was saying that it was about how in moments of complete chaos that it's called cognitive disorientation.
Oh, yeah.
And so your brain goes into habit mode. And because it's like all you know.
Yes.
And so your habit is to get up out of the plane and grab your bag and go. So that was what they said. But I mean.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. It's still weird that your brain fails you sometimes.
The survival instinct would be greater.
You would think that. Our lizard brain should be like, dude, get off the plane.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, and maybe it's also denial.
I was going to say there's maybe a little bit of that.
Because of the
brain,
Titanic?
Has so many different ideas of like,
this can't be happening.
This is awful. This is, whatever. So it almost is like comfortably accepts the easiest, like safest explanation.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. And you imagine, I would feel this sense of like everything's going to be fine, and I'm not going to want to not have my phone or whatever it is when I'm waiting around to do this paperwork that's so inconvenient afterwards.
Well, now we know. Maybe you should just enjoy that time of being bored and not pick up your phone and let your mind wander. So
I won't enjoy it. I mean, I don't know. The human brain I get frustrated with because I feel like it fails us.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to work so hard to master it and control it and train it like any muscle. Mm-hmm. And, it's like if you went to go pick up a, 100-pound weight and you'd be frustrated with your inability to pick it up. Well, okay, strengthen yourself.
Okay, Sarah, but I feel like I've done that.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah.
And it's still just, there are some things that it's really insistent upon.
Yeah. Well, it's practice. And it's... when you come into new awareness, there's an integration. There's a whole model to how change occurs and how, you reach this place where you're like, I got to make some changes. Like, so you research or you go to a therapist or you talk to somebody or whatever, and then you have this new awareness of like what's really going on. And then it creates this chaos where rather than that awareness improving your overall well-being, you see a decline because this new awareness, it's like that.
I
know
totally
too much.
agree with that.
And then you hit a point at the very bottom where some new information comes in, like where the ideas get integrated, where all of a sudden you maybe try this you have this new awareness and you make one little change and you see the positive effects of that change, or you try to approach the problem a different way or react in a different way than you did before. Like when I chose to not call my husband out for claiming that he was the one who discovered the slab leak. And I just swallowed that information and kept that and decided to not make the snarky comment because if that was important to him, let it be important to him.
Who did he say this to? Sarah.
Okay, I'll just tell this story because I have to. I'm like so glad I brought it up.
I cannot believe this.
So yesterday, I'm getting ready for work, and Landon answers. He's on a conference call, and he's like waiting for other people to join, and he's on speakerphone. And some guy was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on with your house? I heard there was like construction or whatever." And Landon, he must have listened to the episode where I talked about it because he essentially stole my whole like how I told the story and even like the punchlines and stuff. He was like, "So the other day, I'm in my bathroom with my bare feet." And the floor gets hot.
No.
And then, this is the best part. First of all, Landon, if you're listening, I love you so much. I know that this is like, go ahead, tell the story. I don't care. There are so many times where I've like told things that we're good.
We
it's
all have
even.
those
We
moments.
all do this. So I love you. And
this is really funny to me.
Hope he still loves me. Okay, so I overhear, and then I think he knows that I was within earshot, so he gets up and he goes in the garage and he shuts the garage door. So I was listening to music and I was like, Alexa, stop the music so that I could hear the rest of it. And it absolutely was the whole story of like, yep, I discovered the slab leak and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, Sarah, you have two options right now. You've done this before. Like you've called him out and like corrected him or been like, no, actually it was like this and da-da-da. And that has not gone well for you. And he gets defensive and who cares? And it's just a story. And I don't know these freaking people. And let him tell the good story. And for the amount of times I've stolen jokes from my little brothers, it's about time somebody takes mine and uses it as their own. So whatevs. And so I decided to not say anything.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Okay.
And just carried on. But then told all my friends and you guys on the podcast. So pretty much everybody. So yeah. And I had a wonderful rest of the day. We didn't get in an argument, but I know had I said something, we would have.
Really?
Yes.
He wouldn't have just been like, yeah.
No, definitely
Why?
would have been. Because anytime, again, it's like it triggers a vulnerability in you. So it would, by saying that to him, that would have triggered some feeling of like something in him. And then he would have had to defend that shame with a comment, with something that's like his defense, like survival strategy, and then I would have defended my feelings of vulnerability for getting called out but also being right, and it would have gone back and forth and it would have turned into a whole thing. So in this moment, that was like my integration moment where I'm like, oh, that went really well. And then by integrating that, now I'm able to use this change, and that now we start to see the well-being and the growth and it go up.
Yeah. And
that wellness and that self-awareness is now being put to good use and you're making changes. But you got to remember there's that moment of chaos. And then you go into integration and growth and new learning and all that.
Makes me laugh, though.
Yeah. Yes. And then there's a new status quo and then they'll go through the whole thing again. So, yeah. But isn't
Good
that
story.
funny?
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
I was like, wait a sec. That sounds awfully familiar. Alexa, I said it. Oh my God. Lady, stop playing music. And then I heard the rest. I just laughed and laughed. I had a nice little giggle to myself.
Well, there you go, everybody. We learned about beeholes.
Yes, so much.
And cognitive whatevering.
Yep. Autobiographical thinking.
Now you can go leave us a 5-star review for thanking us for doing that.
You're welcome.
Bye. podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.